Fife fans, and a big warm welcome to you Daisy fans joining us today as well. So exactly what is this? This is Scotland's premier Fife-based podcast, Fife Club. As always, the first rule of Fife Club is, please talk about Fife Club. This is a special wee episode today, coming to you live from Furness on the bonny banks of Loch Fyne, and with Fife's very own, the Coaltown Daisies.
Hello.
So, basically, I'm just going to get down to it. So,
nice.
around the mic with my good self Cutch today is none of the usual faces or voices that you Fife fans will be used to, but instead we have Inverary's answer to Will Smith. It's Lynzy.
Thanks very much. This is the story, anyway.
And next to her is the scrubber from Airdrie. It's Viv.
Cheers.
It's no problem at all.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a bit of a tradition. I always rip the guys in the introduction.
Surely you're meant to be able to rap better than me, being that you're from the ghetto.
Nice. So anyway, welcome on into Fife Club. How are yous on this glorious day?
I've just got rid of my hangover. Literally just got rid of the hangover.
It was pretty epic, wasn't it? Yeah. I came down this morning to find you sort of huddled in the corner of the couch there, just looking a bit sorry for yourself.
Yes, yeah.
With me feeling even sorrier for myself.
That's exactly what happened.
So that pretty much leads me into the next question here. So we are on day 2 of Best of the West Festival at Inverary Castle. Last night we saw Skippinish.
Yes.
They were absolutely brilliant. So the question really is how's the festival been for you guys so far?
What a start.
Aye.
What an absolutely brilliant start. We arrived here a wee bit earlier than we expected. Had time to chill out, wait for you guys, eat and drink and then got merry. It's been fab.
Yeah.
You guys nearly never got in, but that was fine. Because you were with the scrubber from Airdrie, you managed to get in.
Yeah. We had a slight ticket incident, but never come prepared. That's the Fife Club motto, pretty much. So yeah. But yeah, it's been pretty good so far. I think so. Anyway, yeah. And we are on to day 2. We'll be heading back up there shortly. And you guys will be playing as well.
Yes, we're headlining the Whiskey Stage at 4 o'clock, so if anyone's here, actually, at Bowfest and they're watching this, come along at 4. Ta-na. Yeah, the Whiskey Stage is twice the size it was last year, so we're pretty excited about hopefully getting it rammed full.
Yeah, definitely. It's the whole thing's looking much bigger this year. Clearly they're needing bums on seats and more money, but that's fair enough. It's cool. Hopefully it'll bring in even bigger acts in future as well.
And I'm hoping that it stays dry as well, because
I think it's meant to be a really good day today.
It's nice to sit. Yeah. It's nice to sit out. I see we've got more benches. They're more organised this year.
Yeah, it seems to be a festival that's just getting bigger and better all the time.
More food. More.
I hope it doesn't outgrow itself though.
Yeah.
If it stays the way it is, it's just probably the most perfect festival ever.
Yeah. Well, we've been up to Inverary for the Connect festivals like back in 2007, 2008, and they were a much bigger scale, and it can the area can cope with that, like the grounds and that, but it's quite nice coming back and having this sort of slightly smaller, sort of more contained festival, and definitely with the acts that are playing, like Batlle and Skippinish last night, absolutely belting, yeah. So for the people that don't know, who are the Coaltown Daisies?
As we've mentioned already, hungover, as who we are. I don't know, what do you think?
Well,
you answer this one.
I don't want to quote our Facebook site, but we're a Fife-based duo. Singer-songwriters. We play guitar, harmony, percussion, anything at all that makes a noise. We'll give it a bash. We've been playing for 7 years, and we mostly do all our own writing and arranging, and we've got a couple of CDs out. So we're just working really hard. Both have full-time jobs, and then kind of semi-professional musicians. So
and it's all good so far. That's the thing. I mean,
did you just say semi?
Semi-professional.
Semi-professional.
Right.
Somebody told us that.
Unlike us at Fife Club, who we are just absolute amateurs at this whole game at the moment. So it's interesting. Who would you say are your biggest influences when it comes to your music?
So I was listening to Hanson this morning. I can hear you all. I know it's happening, but they're great. So anything with a sort of vocal harmony, which is what they did, and they were obviously influenced by the 50s and 60s, which I was as well. My mum's a massive Motown fan, so I listened to that quite a lot. So writing melodies and arranging lyrics and things and hooks, like, it was always of interest because of that. Bruce Springsteen, Mary Chapin Carpenter, definitely. Anything more of a country edge is my take on it anyway. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah.
Well, since I'm really old, as I keep getting reminded this weekend, I think I'm the oldest person in this house by 8 years, I think. So,
Yeah.
So Duke Ellington then is what
So
you're...
living on Tulsa Town.
Don Williams died today.
Oh, yeah, sad
did
news.
he?
Absolutely
Yeah.
gutting. So if we
Absolutely.
can pull out the chorus for Tulsa Time even, later on, that would be really quite good.
Oh, that's really,
It's really sad.
That's
Yeah.
one of our favourite songs. It's from when I was wee, and my dad used to play all these greatest country and western tapes in the car all the way down to holiday, and he was a favourite, like Doctor Hook and Linda Ronstadt, Crystal Gale, and then when I started buying tapes myself, tapes, I can't even believe I'm talking about tapes.
Gosh, so old.
Put the pencil in and wind back.
Yeah, I totally had to pull them out. I had a week area of listening to like Belinda Carlisle to Pow, but that wasn't from a musical influence. That was just because that's what was happening at the time. But no, it's more like Indigo Girl, Sean Colvin. Sean Colvin very much so from a guitar perspective. She's great. Songwriting. Do you know? I don't know. I've listened to so many different types of music, from classical right through to Guns N' Roses, absolutely everything. So,
And it all plays a part.
Oh, I totally.
It fell into place when I think I heard the Indigo Girls, which Viv switched me onto, and folk have said there's a similarity there, but I think it's because we quite like the individuality that we have, although we're harmonising together. It's like two lead vocals as opposed to one sitting back, and that's kind of what they do. So,
and one's really, the voices are completely different, which is what people commented when we started singing. They're like, but you just don't match. These are so different.
Like they were basically saying, "What are you doing?"
That's what's working, and that's what's working. Because if you to hear us both individually as solo artists, we're completely different.
Cool. So again, one of the sort of some of the few things that brings us together as pals is our love of music, food, and drink.
Excellent.
So what I kind of want to know is, you guys are always making me jealous with your food posts when you're out and about on your travels and when you're touring. And I want to know if food and drink that you have play an important part in your music as well.
Oh, interesting question. Oh,
it takes
amateur, you're not.
It absolutely does, because
It's the reason we go places. Quite a lot. Yeah,
we're quite happy to travel 4 hours knowing that we've got a gig, but also knowing that we have exceptional food to look forward to, and not a kind of fish and chips and a beer of Tennant's or something, a glass of Tennant's. It's really good food, and we're actually quite lucky that way, that the places that we do play have outstanding food and hospitality. We pinch ourselves sometimes actually at the places that we sit and wine and dine and have a gorgeous view.
one of my favourites, which I think will be one of the photos that you're maybe referring to, is the Sea Salt restaurant in Port Ellen in Isla. They do the surf and turf with the steak and the half lobster. You remember that photo? It's like I tag you on it, just like I'm just gonna be jealous. That's good, and it's not one of the, because sometimes people provide us with meals when we play, but that's the sort of treat that we go and buy ourselves dinner and have a wee extravagant dinner just because we want to do that when we're on a trip.
I
think the style of what we do as well, because we go and play at certain festivals, beer or whiskey festivals, what comes with that is good food. Like this weekend, the food is tremendous here. It's like proper awesome food, and it's because it's really nice ale, really good whiskey, and these two,
and the salmon is growing out there, just over there. So
we're lucky that the three things kind of come together.
And we've obviously written a song about whiskey, so that's pretty.
Pretty good. It's definitely your sing-along tune at the moment. I think everybody gets behind that and thoroughly enjoys the whiskey song. And I mean, what is the whiskey song about?
It's about this place, waiting a show. I always wear this.
Isla bracelet is what
and
you might not be able to see it there, but
I love Isla. We absolutely do love it.
We went in 2014, I think it was, for just a couple of gigs. It wasn't to go to Facial or anything like that. And basically, we'd arranged to be there to play.
Yeah.
And we knew what was happening on the island and what was scheduled on the island. And we got to the Isla Hotel and they didn't know what was happening. It's like how, I can't even remember the lyric in my own song now, but it's about the rumours that we heard. Or we basically told them that the rumours you hear about your own island are true, because this is what's happening. Yeah. And then we ended up playing an impromptu gig that night. Somebody we know was playing and they invited us on. And then Diageo's South American constituency basically were over there tasting whiskies and learning about different things.
Cool.
And they were there that night with the magnificent Pablo. Pablo from Peru.
A hotel full of the most beautiful people you've ever seen in your life, all holding a different bottle of whiskey, just pouring it out in lines and lines and lines, asking us to sing this song, that song, and it was just unbelievable. We've never experienced anything like that ever, and then we thought, let's go back and we'll not try and make the same thing happen, but that's 3 times now, and each time's been better.
Yeah.
And it's like, how can you possibly top what just happened in this tiny wee sleepy island where nothing much happens until that week?
The song itself was, I kind of wanted to write a drinking song, so we had that kind of song that goes down well in tents and people can sing to, because the night out we had was so good. Although I have to say, guys, last night, Amy's over here, by the way, say hello. That's been the best night out of my life, I think. But this one on Isla, it was so good because there's so many people from around the world there on this tiny wee island. And I thought, need to capture this in a tune and relive that night out every time I sing it, basically. And have other people maybe make their own night out of our song, and whenever they hear it, like, it reminds them of that. So that's a long-winded explanation of what it's about. But
I know certainly me and Kirsty, it's one of those songs that we have every now and then. It's on one of our playlists and it comes on, and it just does remind us of being up here, Butte Fest, and all the times we've seen you. Just all the... Pretty much, it's always a good time, always a good night. It's a song that's loaded with happy memories.
Yes.
And I could see how other people would hopefully find that too. Cool. So, as Fifers, does the Kingdom influence your music in any way?
It kind of says it in the name, I think.
It did at the start because... we were called Coaltown to start with, and then a band in America are called that, so we had to change and we thought, what's the most ironic thing that we can come up with, and it was Daisies. There is quite a lot of meaning to our name that we just kind of keep to ourselves, because start talking about it.
Yeah, no, we'll all be crying. I did enough crying last night.
One of the first songs that, remember this town? And
this town's a mess, might need fixing.
That way when you start out, you make a song and you think it's great, and then...
It is a great song. I love that.
No, it's just terrible.
The name, we're obviously from Fife, so it's nice to have Coaltown in it because of the mining history, just to nod to that we're from there. And I have been asked that a couple of times, are you from the East Coast with a name like that? I think somebody actually said that to me last night. And the women at the B&B said that as well.
It is quite a nice throwback. It's quite loaded as well. Just having the Coaltown, as you say, people do associate East of Scotland, Fife in particular, with all the mines and the mining history.
But interestingly enough, a lot of people, when they don't know who we are and they just see a band's playing, they think for some strange reason it's going to be a bunch of guys with beards and boots, and that's happened a few times. And it's nice because they're like, oh, it's 2 girls, didn't expect that.
But I can see that as well, because it's obviously a very male orientated industry, so with a name like Coaltown, you could see folks seen that. I've never thought about it, but then I suppose I know you guys, so that's probably
We do have beards and boots. Goose.
I got rid of that chin here this morning.
There's always one.
For you, surely, there's maybe a bit 5.
That's just age, though,
That's the 8 years. That's the 8 years.
What was Amadeus Mozart like?
He was my neighbour. to jam. We used to hang out and jam all the time. and then of course there was Rabbi Burns.
Oh, were you pals with Rabbi as well?
Totally.
Oh yeah, cool.
Me and Rabbi were like that.
And then,
Oh dear.
Jimmy Shand on the way up. A bit more contemporary music. fair dues. So, kind of really only got one last question to ask you, and that is there anyone on the scene that we Fifers should look out for at the moment in time? Anybody that you would sort of recommend?
Always recommend Yvonne Lyon.
Oh yeah.
Always. She's actually in Nashville just now, which is quite cool.
Really?
Hello,
That's
Yvonne, if you're watching.
America.
I don't know. Skippinish, obviously. They're fantastic, but they're getting there now.
Yeah.
We were talking about Tidelines the other day.
Tidelines are great as well, yeah.
Oh, do you know what? Cara is a group, CARA.
Oh, that's right.
And they're quite unusual. It's a German girl that leads it, sings, and does she play violin as well?
German, Irish.
Kinda. And then Kim, who's in her debut album playing keys, she's in it as well. So it's like Scottish, German, but it's like an Irish trad band.
Okay.
And they're getting about quite a lot.
They're really good.
They're absolutely fantastic. Their CD is superb.
Yeah.
And like you, it pops up in the playlist, and I'm like, yes. So they're good. Cara, if you catch them about here, I think they're in Europe just now. I'm not quite sure.
So,
they're good, yeah.
Anybody else particularly from Fife that is?
Everybody we know we love though. That's the thing. We play a lot with different folk, and we like put on. Like the last charity thing we did was fantastic.
Yeah, and we have Erin Scott with us as well up the stairs somewhere. What is she actually doing?
Probably still in the shower.
Yeah, shit. Erin's been in the shower 45 minutes now.
Who played at the last one? There was
George Brown. Oh my god, that boy made us cry, Amy. Yeah. Honestly. Proper. It's all about the greeting, apparently, the theme. He's fantastic, and he's actually playing with us at the Wee Cook Kitchen in Montefieth. Hayley runs this fantastic kitchen, and we've teamed up to her to put on a sort of preamble to their festival up there, and we managed to get George in on that as well, because I suppose it's quite a natural thing, because he plays with a stomp box, and he's got this mad bass technique going on, and it fits with what we do quite well.
You guys are up to as well, yeah.
So yeah, George, totally.
Well, that's absolutely brilliant. Well, that's me out of questions.
Right.
So I think that went all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Will we call it quits for the moment?
I think so.
Yeah, cool.
Hopefully you were able to hear it out there in Facebook land.
Yeah, and on the Fife Club side of things, we will pick this up again tomorrow and see what state we're in then. So speak to you then. Thanks.
Awesome. Cheers very much. Bye.
Colors of the world we're living for this night alone. We'll hold it in our hearts until we die. Can you feel the music? Can you see the people dance? Do you know that I am by your side? Drowning in our wanderlust for something that is pure. It's time to lay the cards out on the table. Looking back on yesterday, we all want something more. So take me by the hand and say along. Can I get a witness for tomorrow? I'll be gone. Memories will follow and I'll feel like I'm alone. I'll hold it all forever, saying I don't want to go. So pour me a whiskey for the
Fife fans, and welcome back to Fife Club. You'll have only been gone for a few seconds. We've been gone for 3 days now.
Literally.
Yeah, it's Monday morning. We have successfully survived Bowfest for another year. It's been a blast. How was it for you two?
Well, my voice kind of says it all, actually. Yeah, what a tremendous time, totally. What do you think?
I have absolutely nothing.
Really?
I'm so happy. I think my sentence a few times has been, I am so happy right now. Whether it's been the Stovies, Kirsty's jam, the whiskey, the music, Tide Lines,
Erin's
Eddie Reader.
dancing.
Aye, so happy.
Regina sliding off the couch. Needed to get that into the podcast. Absolutely.
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
Regina was one of the lovely girls that had been with us this weekend, and she was asked if she wanted some pizza, and instead of saying yes, she just slid off the couch like a slippery salmon.
Which is currently growing at the end of Loch Fyne over there, so it was rather fitting.
It was funny seeing. I've never seen somebody pour themselves into a pizza before. It's the kind of weekend we've had. But it's been absolute cracking. Seen some fantastic bands as well. I think we talked already about how we saw Skippinish and Heron Valley, who just that made Friday night. That started the weekend off in such a good way. That and the fact that was absolutely fannied.
Absolutely hammered is just that was quite good.
So much whiskey. And then Saturday came along, and I've been having problems with my memory. I can't even remember who. When we came in, we saw somebody play first. I can't remember.
There might be a moment of silence, guys, while we try and figure out exactly what happened on Saturday.
So Saturday...
We were a bit later been along.
Yeah, because we were playing, obviously, at the whiskey tent.
Yeah.
I can't remember who was on before us.
I think the excitement of what happened next is kind of just wiped out.
Yeah, completely, I know.
The morning. So, let's chat a bit about that. Saturday, you guys played on the Loch Fyne Whiskey Tent.
Yes.
And it was pretty cracking.
Yeah.
However,
so it was good in there. Yes.
However, there was a twist.
There was a twist indeed.
Yeah.
So just before we went on the whiskey stage, we were informed by the lovely Gordon, who has been working his ass off this entire weekend, that we were going to be shifting to the main stage. So can we cut our set, please, and do less tunes and hurry up, get over there as fast as you can. So we did that. The whiskey tent was rammed. We had our roadie, Karen, around, and she was passing out download codes to the people standing at the back. I think some of the Loch Fyne whiskey guys, who we need to give a shout out to, because they were tremendous the whole weekend. Good chat. I think they got some download codes as well, which is quite good. And then you guys were there. We had the media team, and then we had
merch team,
the merch team,
Erin and Regina, team.
And
you guys were roading our stuff back and forward between you and Kirsty were Karen and Anne all roadied our stuff between the two stages.
So we upped sticks and left the tent with everybody was like, go, and then we got across, and pretty much the majority of the audience that were in that tent came over to the main stage, and then before we knew it, the entire place was absolutely rammed full, which is what you want. And I felt that particular set went across pretty well.
It did.
We're pretty happy with it.
Really chuffed, because it's a completely different style of gig for having been about 100 foot across the area, but it's brilliant.
Yeah. I mean, it was quite funny, because obviously you guys were charging across from the whiskey tent to the main stage, and there was a procession of people behind you. And as we got to the door for the main stage going in, the guy that was herding us all, he was just like, "Wait a minute, there was only two of you a minute ago." It was just like, "Yeah, now we're all here."
Ta-da, there, guys. Brilliant.
But and then of course, me and Kirsty stayed backstage and took photos and whatnot of you guys playing, and it was amazing to see the crowds, everybody standing at the front barrier and yous just absolutely belting out, and the reaction everybody was really having, and even the security guards who were standing about at the side seemed to have a big smile on their face. They were kind of just enjoying every moment of it. But I think actually the security as well this weekend's been pretty good. I've seen, especially at main stage, the guys hanging about. Sometimes you go to gigs and they're dour-faced and they're just constantly scanning, looking for trouble, but that didn't seem to be the case.
Not at all.
Yeah, they were enjoying it. They were, but
I saw one guy that when Dr. Hip were playing and they handed out all the shakers, one of the security, the big bald guy, was totally giving it shit on the right side stage. It was like, you're amazing.
I think it just sums up like the whole feeling of this festival is that everybody's having a good time and everybody's feeling really friendly. It's really good to see.
All the kids as well. The people bring lots of the kids and they love it. Absolutely love it. It feels really safe. I think the minute that you add family friendly to a gig, it just changes the behaviour of people that maybe would normally be a wee bit more mental.
We heard a few reports from locals that there was some rubbish behaviour. We hope that's not true, because this festival is not about that.
No.
It's never been about that, and we've never seen that, and which is why we keep coming back, because it's so nice.
I mean, this is only our second year here at this at this festival, and again, the difference between when we used to come up here for the Connect Festival, I know we keep talking about it, but it's just
but
sort of
only reference point for
it is the comparison. It was a big style boutique festival. It was sort of on a level of Tea in the Park, but with a slightly older audience.
Right.
So I mean, it was nice in that it was an older audience, in that you didn't have the nonsense of teeny boppers going daft, ripped out their faces. But at the same time, it was quite a big festival for the area. And I think, like Inverary just couldn't cope, essentially. I mean, I know a lot of folk were going back out into the town, but we tended just to go back to the campsite and whatnot. There was actually a lot going on in that one, like up until about 2 a.m. There was a lot going on in the arena. You had DJ sets and burlesque shows and stuff after all the acts had done. But coming back to Best of the West, I mean, I remember last year when we went in and we came in, it was just like, oh, it's so cute compared to the size of the previous event here, because it's like a horseshoe shape series of marquees, but like it's that thing where you've got families coming in, because it's like almost a day event as well. You can have folk coming in across each day. It's come and go, and you've got the kids running about, kids enjoying themselves. I mean, there was several times I've seen like no more than like 8 months, 8 months to a year. It's like standing about just bopping, they're just confident with their feet and everything.
At the sound desk that night, he was brilliant.
Just giving it loudy, standing there.
His waterproof onesie.
Oh man, he was so cute.
What was really nice when we were down seeing Tidelines in Eddie Reader last night was I just turned round at one point and there was a sea of teenagers, totally lovely, well-behaved teenagers. Loving it, absolutely loving it. So that's really nice. So you've got the young kids and then you've got the teenagers coming in. They were just all really sweet.
They had Robert Robertson's harem of young folk that were like, oh, swoon, screaming whenever he came on stage and all that.
Well, that was kind of like with Hunter and the Bear as well. There was definitely a contingent of that crowd who were follow them all over. You saw them with the t-shirts on, and they're right up at the front. And I mean, they're pretty much a pretty band. So I could definitely see that. But
bit of controversy about them actually, because I heard some people think, "Oh, that's a bit heavy for this festival," and I was like, "They were actually tremendous, though." And why not maybe shake it up just a little bit? But it just depends on what you want to hear. But
again, at the same time, from understanding of the festival, it's got a bit of a history of being trad and being folky and sort of that way. But it is called Best of the West, and they're from the West. It's why not get them up here? They're on their way up. It's given us like what I was saying is I could see them in another couple of years being pretty huge.
Absolutely.
Sort of Biffy Clyro level of huge, and to be able to say that we've seen them in this tiny venue. It was really good. We're right up the front, right up close. I mean, they had an absolute blast. It looks like they enjoy performing. They know how to put on a show. It was just thoroughly entertaining. But I've lost the thread of where I was going with that.
It's just par for the course.
But they were really good. That was it. It was about the sort of the heaviness as well. Is that they actually made reference to it. They went, look, guys, we know we're a bit of a black sheep here, but we're really thankful to be here. It's great being back home and playing, because I think they've been out in the States and across Europe, and they've been able to come back and just play a nice wee festival, and then afterwards they're out mingling with folk and obviously just soaking it all up and enjoying. And again, I always love to see that in a band. I've seen so many bands that come on stage and play their set and come off, and they never look like they're happy.
Yeah.
They never look like they're enjoying it. There's no, like, no feeling back, and it just makes for a bad experience, and it also kind of puts you off them for future.
I did actually notice that. I won't name them, but like a couple of acts yesterday, I was a bit like the set was amazing, but the whole build up, and then afterwards I was like, it's just, I think it works for us because we always stick around and speak to people, and we're like there for the entire weekend. But I was like, I've done my bit, and now I'm going home now, and it's like.
And they've maybe travelled 4 or 5 hours and they need to go back.
That's true too. I don't know. I always feel that little just sticker. Like, I mean, Eddie Reader does it time and time again, just because she was down on the left hand side at the end of the night, still speaking to people.
I missed that.
That's probably a good thing. You were pretty wasted. That wouldn't have been happening. And I was too tired to actually make a sentence. But yeah, she's massive, and after all of that, she still makes time. I mean, Robert did that last night for Tidelines as well. Stuck around, and they're playing a tremendous amount of shows. It does. It totally does.
Well, Kirsty went and bought Hunter and the Bear. She went and bought their album because she didn't have a hard copy of it. She bought a t-shirt and then went away and then discovered that they were down talking to folk at the merch bit. So she went away back to get her album signed. And then they chat, they had a wee chat, signed the album, and again, it's that little bit of fan service, I think. It's something we talk about when we talk about films and comic books and all this kind of stuff, is that little bit of fan service in there, just to acknowledge that,
they've been there and they've stayed. I mean,
that's it. And
it's the people that make you. It's the people that are buying your merch and downloading your songs and following you. Paying ticket prices to come and see you. So,
what was quite nice for us, because we were here the entire weekend. Like, I spoke to a number of people yesterday after they asked me about my poncho and where I got it. Like, I think I can count about 100 times that happened. I'm going to put a sign on my back. Like,
I'll pop up some photos of those ponchos too.
Yes, the Highland Cow ponchos are from the Garden Centre in Crieff. Everyone must go. We can all wear them together next year, and it'll be really cool. But yeah, people kept passing saying, "Oh, can I stop you a minute? Saw your set yesterday, blah, 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 blah." And then maybe we'd chat about a CD, and that wouldn't have happened had we gone home, sort of thing. So it was like engaging with those extra people.
Yeah, just...
and Fifers picking us out. Oh, we're from Fife too. Like, it's all about Fife Club. Join Fife Club.
One really nice memory was when we rushed over from the whiskey tent into the main stage. A couple of the songs we repeated again. And one of the songs is just new, so nobody would have been really hearing it, but a guy was singing it, so he'd obviously picked it up from the whiskey tent, and he's going, "Who let the hangman in?" And he's singing it, and I was just watching him for ages going, "That's magic." After one time hearing it, he's caught on, so that's cool.
That's awesome.
that's always the thing. I mean, if you've got songs that do just hit straight away, especially if you've got a nice little catch or hook on them. I mean, obviously one of my favourites of your guys is Whiskey for the Road. That's just, it's a cracking tune. It is absolutely brilliant, and it's one that every now and then will just pop into my head like an earworm, and I'll be just sitting there like, that's
why it was written, man.
Yeah, exactly. But you did that. You've designed it for that purpose, and that's great, because I love hearing that stuff. Like, I mean, there's bands out there, Kaiser Chiefs are the kings of that sort of like the hook, and something that people doesn't have to be in tune, it doesn't have to be, it can just be belted out, and
Walking on the Waves, man, that's done it for me this weekend.
Exactly.
That
Walking
might
on
actually be my favourite song in the world.
It is.
Now.
It's an absolute cracker. That's Skippinish. If you've got guys out there who haven't heard it, get it on Spotify, genius. Google, whatever. Walking on the Waves, Skippinish. It is
tremendous.
Just a beautiful tune, and one that you can belt out. It'll get stuck in your head. And that's it, because that's what you want, I think. And I'm not talking as an artist of any kind, but I'm talking as a fan. It's like, those are the songs that pull you in, and then whatever else you've got to say can be said throughout the rest of an album, an EP, whatever it is. But those
have
songs,
the one song and
pull you in, and that's it. So it's really cool. And
our next CD is going to be full of songs like that. So.
It's all good. I mean, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Actually, pretty cool.
Yeah,
I'm talking, and I've got no voice.
I'm just letting you talk away in your sexy, husky, done-in voice.
There's nothing sexy about this. Thank God this is a podcast.
Because it takes us so long to record anything, that is a long process when you've got your day jobs as well. We've got enough for another 2 albums.
Yeah.
So from the ones that we play live, quite a lot of them kind of bluegrassy, upbeat, and have been written kind of not intentionally, but when you put them all together, it's kind of based on experiences of like anxiety and mental health issues, whether it's our own or people that we know and love, and or people that we don't know but we know that it exists. So yeah, we're aiming at our next album from that angle.
Yeah, we've got enough songs. I'd quite like to write another 2 new ones. I've got some material from a person that I've worked with who's been really forthcoming with information about their sort of experience. Not right in there, but enough to kind of paint a picture. So I'm trying to figure out what that's going to be, but it'll probably be a slower country kind of thing. But yeah, it totally takes the angle of Americana bluegrass country. And we're going to crowdfund it. We've never crowdfunded before, but we're trying to maybe just be a bit more confident about that and use the base that we have. And everyone that we've spoken to about it is quite keen to see what that's about. So what we have, because we're kind of a bit anal about planning, or sorry, I'm anal about planning, have put a lot of rewards already in place. We know exactly what we're going to be selling, basically. It's just putting those things together. So we'll actually be making things and using our other artistic abilities to create something that fans can buy, or pledgers can buy. It'll be pledge music we do it through. We're working with a chef that we've met who's fantastic, and she'll be appearing at 3 events that we do at a venue with different types of food, and us playing at it like a posh house concert type thing. So yeah, there's loads of stuff coming up which we'll post, that it's time to try it. And I've learned a lot from a lot of seminars I've been going to as part of the Musicians Union. Hello Louise, and PRS, hello Stuart. They're great. They've taught us a lot about kind of marketing and the people that you need to speak to for funding and stuff and how it works. I spoke to someone from Creative Scotland the other day, and they were saying if you can crowdfund, it actually looks really good if you apply to get funds from them. So if we can do this and then apply for funds to take it on tour, or largely over to Nashville area, it would be, that's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. It's just when it's going to happen and how we kind of work that out. So that's kind of what we're figuring out just now. But you have to have, once you've got the one goal, the next goal needs to come to be able to make that bigger and grow.
It's really cool, because I mean, on the sort of marketing side of things, like anybody that knows any of us that do this podcast, especially me, is that we're learning this kind of stuff on the fly at the moment in time. We're obviously started small, and we're quite enjoying doing it, but we kind of do want to see it maybe go a little bit further. It's just like learning things like social media, how to handle social media.
I would be happy to do a seminar for you. More than happy. It's just like how you can put something out and not really think it's going to make much of a difference, but then you suddenly get a huge response. Like there was one day I posted a picture of a What's It roll. So it was a roll with some What's It's on it. And my God, did that blow up. It was just like, and we had people randoms from all over the place. It was getting shared, and it was just like, those are the kind of weird things, but it was something that was actually quite Fife based, because we were talking about crisp sandwiches, and and it was sort of like we had folk from the States that we were pals with and stuff coming in and going, what are you doing? and then getting into arguments about you wouldn't use a What's It, but you would use use McCoy's, or do you break yours up, or do you add a bit coming on?
It's the cheese and onion, salt and vinegar in a peace fight.
Aye, totally.
And then Mark one day had one of the local footballers, football legends. He gave him it was a parking ticket, like for the car park. There was an hour or so left on it, and he gave Mark the ticket, and Mark was like, "Oh, absolute legend!" Put up a picture and said, "Thanks very much," and it went to him, and then it went out, and then we had loads of folk commenting and chatting about that, and it's just it's funny that something that you just don't even think
it's going to matter
would catch any traction suddenly blows up, and then from that we've had people coming back to us, and we've had likes on the page, and
that's cool.
So it's like we've discovered that we're Fife Club, so if there's any Fife orientated news, we stick that up, and then that catches traction.
Well, Lynzy's a social media machine.
Yeah.
Machine. I learned a lot again from the seminars that the MU provide, but it's about knowing what Instagram is for and how to use that. So I think the best thing I heard was if you're wanting to market your video that you've got on YouTube, you put the entire video on YouTube, then you create a preview version for Facebook, and then you create a still for Instagram, and you do it in that order: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and it drives the traffic in that direction. We're actually trying to direct traffic to our website because we've got loads of stuff on it, which is what I'm kind of doing now. Like, we do a weekly photo which I was posting up on our Facebook page, and I've decided to stop doing that, and I've removed that album from there, and I'm going to just do it on the website and share that image via that, and then they can. It's just stupid wee things like this.
It sounds very familiar to something that I'm doing just now with the podcast. So we're hosted by Podomatic, one of the podcast hosts out there.
Brilliant.
And the page is there, but it's all quite sort of simple. It's not very bespoke. It's so when I'm posting out the stream to the podcast, I would post it to there. People would be heading there and listen to it on that website. But what I've done now is we've got fifeclub.co.uk, and I'm putting in the embedded player onto a page on there, and then I'm posting out the website, so more people are going to the website because there's more information on the website. And cool. That way, you're getting them there, and I'm talking about them, you lot, you Fifers out there that are listening. But it's something that I'm finding very interesting. It's interesting to talk to you guys about it as well.
I kind of geek out on all of this stuff and see how it goes, and I like things to look nice.
I'm allowed to do the Twitter, and that's all because it's easy enough for me. So I'm allowed to do the Twitter. I keep forgetting.
I've given you the option to be involved in the Facebook, but it's not consistent enough, man.
But then when I put something up, she always amends it at the back with the English teacher in her.
Mark does that with me. I post something. I'll post up something on the page, and then I'll get a wee text saying, "Just sorted your spelling." Thanks, pal.
Thanks, man.
Which is why I'm allowed to do the Twitter, because I didn't really get it wrong with like 140 characters.
That window of opportunity.
See, Twitter, I quite like Twitter, but sometimes it does frustrate me because you can't say. But although then at the same time it makes you really think about what you're going to say.
Totally.
But on that note, while we're talking about social media, I don't have Jamie here with me, so I'm just going to read out some of our socials. It's normally his job.
Go for it.
So you can get us on Facebook at facebook.com/FifeClubPod or FifeClubPod. Twitter at Fife Club. Email ken@fifeclub.co.uk. Instagram, Fife Club, but although we've been talking about that, there's still nothing on our Instagram. We'll do something with it one day, so just add it and be surprised when it happens. And of course, as I mentioned, you can get us at www.fifeclub.co.uk and talk to us. We're needy. Any socials you would like to post up?
Yes, our website, www.thecoaltowndaisies.com, and then our Facebook, which is /TCD Music, and our Twitter, which is the other way around, Music TCD. Instagram is the Coaltown Daisies, and we tend to use Facebook and Instagram most. It just seems to work. But Twitter's kind of getting there now, actually. The more things we do, like Best of the West, everyone's sharing stuff from this weekend, which is quite cool. So,
and if you
come join us.
If you missed us for any CD purchases or anything, we've got a Bandcamp site for downloads, and we actually send the CDs out from there too, which is...
Yeah, we've got an order already, actually. That's quite good, Bandcamp.
I'm hoping that
Oh,
he's going to finish.
thecoaltowndaisies.bandcamp.com. Yeah, thecoaltowndaisies.bandcamp.com. Yeah.
What I'll do
But
is
you
I'll
can get that through our website, it's fine, that's
and
probably
I'll get a
easier.
note of them and stick them up with the podcast as well this
Yeah.
week. The one thing that we always do, well, we do two things at Fife Club. We do our Fantasy Fight Club and we also do Desert Island Dicks. But this week is a Fight Club week. So,
Okay.
we'll just do a quick one. I'm going to put to you a fight. So, normally, what happens is we enter our 9-sided imaginary nonagon. So, if you know anything about fighting or UFC, they fight in an octagon. We fight in a nonagon.
Right.
It's completely imaginary. Just putting that out there.
Take me to that nonagon.
Yeah. And what we do is we choose two fighters, could be anything, anyone, into the nonagon, and then we sit and discuss the merits and just everything basically about how we think that fight would go. Okay. So this week we've got the battle of the second names. We have in one corner Will Smith, famous rapper and movie star. And in the other corner, we've got ex-Tory leader and bit of a shite bag. In fact, utter shite bag. Ian Duncan Smith.
Well, this is the story all about
I thought it was going to be like peanut M&Ms and chocolate M&Ms. So we didn't have to think hard. This is quite hard.
I don't think it's really hard, all that.
Well, Will Smith's going to win that.
Yeah.
And he's better looking. He probably just win alone on his looks.
The problem with Ian Duncan Smith is that he might take away your social security, which then might leave you at a disadvantage. But
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, the Fresh Prince will come in and fix that. You know, like a rags to riches type thing. Like almost like the Robin Hood that never was actually. Is Robin Hood actually a real story?
Well, I think
It's one of those things you want to believe is a real story.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be based on one or several people. I think is what they've kind of decided.
And we figured out really it's all culminated into actually Will Smith in this scenario. Really,
Will Smith. Yeah, Will Smith.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think also Will Smith probably has a reach advantage with Ian Duncan Smith. Also, why did he have to be called, three names?
That's true.
Yeah. One of our guys, Jamie, he always talks about how I think it was either him or somebody he knows always thought it was three different people, Ian Duncan
and
Smith.
Smith.
Yeah.
Is that hyphenated?
Duncan Smith.
Yeah,
Is he maybe taking his wife's name?
Totally.
Just totally taking his wife's name.
Being a Tory, I don't imagine that's actually going to go. No, that's the case at all. No. Who's waving at the window?
No.
Oh, it's Kirsty.
Yeah.
Hi, Kirsty. Do you want to get in on this?
No talking. Will Smith
we have
or
to
Ian
talk
Duncan
about
Smith?
our jam though.
Who would win? Will Smith.
Let's talk about Kirsty's jam.
Kirsty's jam, by the way, is fantastic. Yeah. It's also not strawberry.
Rhubarb and ginger.
It's rhubarb and ginger.
Is it rhubarb and ginger?
Yeah, it's getting a bit nonsense now, eh? God, do you think we've actually...
Yeah,
get the keys, we all need to leave now.
This is basically how this goes, is that we start talking about one thing and then it breaks down
into something
else. But yeah, that's fair enough. I think we on Saturday, was it Saturday night? No, Friday night, Kirsty showed us a video of the two of us walking through Inverary, howling out Fresh Prince.
With some weird, rap walking...
thing going on.
It really didn't look good from the back, actually.
So that was why I kind of thought we were pulling Will Smith, and then I thought, we could have him fight, and I was like, let's fight another Smith.
Completely. Oh my god.
But yeah, no, that's fair enough. I think
Will Smith definitely
Will Smith,
the winner of that. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, cool.
Completely.
Well, that was quick and brief, but it's all I need to fulfil the Fight Club this week.
Glad we can be of help.
So, what were you saying?
I was talking about jam.
No, what did you suggest?
Peanut M&Ms and chocolate M&Ms in a fight.
No, that's an
or peanut versus
one.
crispy.
No, I don't even do the crispy, so I can't
No.
comment on
Holy
the crispy.
Holy Trinity. A peanut, a chocolate, and 2 crispy.
What about a peanut butter one?
Oh, yeah. So you get the peanut and then the peanut butter around it, then the chocolate crispy shell. Yeah.
Borderline not going to be able to air this if we just said
I think a peanut M&M is always going to be the one for me.
It's got I don't know, it depends what mood I'm in.
You've got 2 layers of crunch.
If I need a crunch, I like quite a crunch, but if I'm in the mood,
You've got that sugary
just to let
crunch and then
something
you've
melt
got
in
that
your mouth.
peanut,
totally.
I don't think we can decide on that one. Let's leave that one alone. Anyway, are we quite happy to call this to a close?
More than happy.
Anything else to say at all?
No, thanks for having us.
We are going on a holiday after gigging ourselves silly.
Yes. And we both love your radio voice.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
You have a good radio voice.
Maybe.
Well, what it does do is it brings me to that point in the podcast where I am going to spring something on you guys. One of yous. Viv, give me a motto for the podcast this week.
A motto?
Yeah.
Oh yes, my motto that I've got on a t-shirt is I can't remember, no, I can't drink when I play because I can't play when I drink. Me 2017. I'm thinking of bringing out a range. And also, I think what you were angling for was there are many words in the world.
There are many words in the world. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Bye.